We cannot allow any other country to outcompete the United States in this powerful industry of the future. We are leading by so much in so many different industries of that type, and we just can't let that happen. The race to 5G is a race America must win, and it's a race, frankly, that our great companies are now involved in. We've given them the incentive they need. It's a race that we will win. To accelerate and incentivize these investments, my administration is focused on freeing up as much wireless spectrum as needed. We're going to free it up so they'll be able to get out there and get it done, and removing regulatory barriers to the build-out of networks. But we must not rest. The race is far from over. American companies must lead the world in cellular technology. 5G networks must be secure. They must be strong. They have to be guarded from the enemy. We do have enemies out there, and they will be.
AT&T is the nation's fastest 3G network, so you can download faster on your smartphone than Verizon.
With 4G from Sprint, I can download files up to 10 times faster than 3G.
Upload 10 photos in a minute. Verizon 4G LTE.
Get ready for more ads like those. The wireless industry is in a race to roll out 5G service. Now, 5G is supposed to be up to 100 times faster than current data speeds. Could have used it on Amtrak yesterday. But it requires cell phone tower equipment to be closer to users than ever before. And that is causing outrage and alarm in some neighborhoods as antennas go up around the homes.
Wireless companies in the U.S. say they'll have to install about 300,000 new antennas for the rollout of 5G. That is roughly equal to the total number of cell phone towers built over the past 3 decades. The faster network could create new potential for work and play, but it's also leading to new concerns.
At a lab in New York, Verizon invited us to meet some of the entrepreneurs developing tools to run on the next generation of wireless technology.
How important is 5G to your mission?
5G is extremely important.
Jonathan Reeves demonstrated his product, Arvisio.
As you move around, the object stays fixed in space.
Look at that. That's amazing.
Allowing users in different locations to interact with 3D images projected through a lens.
Today we can do this using Wi-Fi technology, and we can do it using landline technology, but of course you're then tied to particular locations. With 5G now we can begin to extend this, so we can actually begin to start doing this on building sites. We can start doing it on the factory floor. So it really opens up a whole new world.
I joined the Royal Navy in 1960 and I studied microwaves, and I learned all aspects of microwave warfare, their dangers, their uses, the dangers to the human body. Microwaves at that time were, as they are today, used as weapons. It is a perfect weapon because you can't feel it, and for a government, if you can microwave people you don't like, you can give them cancer or brain damage, and you've effectively put them out of action, and you can't be prosecuted for it because they don't know you're doing it.
You talk about microwaves used as weapons. Is it the same microwaves that are used in modern communications technologies?
Exactly the same. Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is the color of the box that they come out of.
So if you look into the science about this, what kind of symptoms could wireless technologies cause?
You will feel very tired, you will feel lethargic, you will feel depressed, which is usually the first symptom. You won't want to get up in the morning, you won't want to be happy. You will have more colds, more coughs, longer colds, longer coughs, because your immune system cannot cope. That is followed usually by some form of neurological damage. You will feel suicidal. Suicide is a very common side effect. You will feel life isn't worth living, and then that has a knock-on effect in the rest of the body. So basically, in terms of the brain, you get incredibly depressed, and in terms of the body, your immune system is suppressed.
These health damages you are talking about here, how much science supports that?
Oh, there are. I had, when I went to Canada, I had documentation of 2,500 military papers. And these are military papers done by the country's best scientists in the best highly paid laboratories, highly equipped laboratories. And I had 2,500 of them. Many, many years of study. And they all say this, that they can affect the eyes, the heart, the brain, and they can induce cancer. And when I got to Canada, the professor at Trent University, she had another, and she showed them to me, another 6,000 documents that I didn't have. So there are at least 8,500 military documents with this. We also have now the peer-reviewed epidemiological studies, 14 of them to my knowledge, that all show low-level radiation causes cancer and neurological diseases, illnesses.
So we are thoroughly microwave radiating our population, and the NTP study says that the more wireless radiation you're exposed to, the more likely you are to develop cancer. That's the implications of the study. That was a very important finding, as well as them showing that this all happened non-thermally, and that supposedly, according to our FCC guidelines, that's impossible. The reality is we have the mechanism now for how wireless radiation causes DNA damage, neurological effects, increases cancer, and damages DNA, leading to reproductive harm. And I want to point it out to people so they can look it up themselves and find it for themselves. This is the name of the study. It's called Oxidative Mechanisms of Biological Activity of Low-Intensity Radiofrequency Radiation. Oxidative Mechanisms of Biological Activity of Low-Intensity Radiofrequency Radiation. And the author, the first author, is Yakimenko. And understand this. This is an important study because what it found is we have a consensus. That is, they looked at 100 studies, 93 of them agreeing that wireless radiation can cause DNA damage, leading to cancer and other health effects non-thermally. And it's not just one author. I heard one of the industry guys say, oh, well, this was a study out of the Ukraine. I said, that's not the point. The point is they looked at 93 studies from all over the world. That Indiana University is included in this study in terms of being one of the authors. And that, so we now have the mechanism. And by the way, the industry will say it's impossible and there is no mechanism. That's simply a lie. They're simply ignoring it. The reality is there's likely multiple mechanisms because this affects different systems of the body, causes different types of harm, and depending on the type of frequencies, we might have different mechanisms.
That the other EMFs that we're exposed to are already known to be health risks. And basically that 5G because of the frequency that's going to be used and because of the extraordinarily high pulsation levels that will be used, is a much bigger threat to our health than the things that we already have, which are very substantial threats to our health. But you have to look, first of all, we're not just talking about the intensity. We're talking about the frequency and the very high level of pulsations. There's a huge literature which shows that pulsed EMFs that pulse up and down very rapidly, are in most cases much more biologically active than our non-pulsed EMFs. And in general, every single wireless communication device communicates via pulsations, but the industry completely ignores this issue. And when you get up to 5G with the extraordinary high levels of pulsation, it's absolutely essential that we not ignore it. With 5G is that they're planning to put out tens of millions of these antennae all over the place without doing one single biological safety test. And that's why I said I thought this was totally insane.
Now, right now, those people need your help.